Hello again and welcome to my part 3 example 1 video for my COMP4004 Assignment 4. So to show you my Git URL, here it is, same Git URL. Go to the parallel cucumber branch and quickly going over my commit history. You can see here a couple of changes recently and then so first thing is we will clone that repo. So here I have 3 folders, one for part 1, part 2, example 1, part 2, example 2. So we're going to make a new folder called part 3 example 1. We're going to go into that folder, and we're going to this folder is empty, and then we're going to clone it into this folder. And then we're going to check out the parallel cucumber branch. Okay, perfect. Now to open that up with Eclipse and show you the feature files. Okay. Shit. Okay, I'm gonna delete this. Or I'm just gonna switch workplaces up there. Okay. We're gonna open up that project that we just cloned. So it was a desktop A4 demo part 3 example 1. This one right here. Okay. So there's two things. So for example 1, part 3 example 1, the following 3 feature files are the ones that will be dealing with part 3 example 1, these 4. So one is like setting up everything, setting up the students, setting up the courses, selecting the courses, etc. So all of these 4 feature files, they have a tag called example 1. All of them. This is the pom.xml. So then if we take a look at the pom.xml file, we can see that for our parallel cucumber runners, we have a tag that will only run the feature files that have a tag example1 on them. So this will not run example2 while we are trying only to run example1. So quickly going over the feature files. Here we have the setup for example 1, which is creating 4 students and a course. So we're creating course C1, cap size 2, creating student S1, S2, S3, and S4. Logging into student S1 and selecting and registering for that course that we just created. And then after all the setup is complete, then we have something called and the initialization is complete. So basically here in the step definitions, we have an attribute called initialization complete, which is originally set to false. However, once all the initialization is complete, all of this is complete, then the initialization is sorry, that was my little brother. Once all the initialization is complete, then the boolean will be set to true. And then afterwards, we have when the students have all completed their registration. And basically this is going to be waiting until all the students finish registering before we continue. So let's take a look at the step definitions to see what exactly I'm talking about. So is complete. So here we have when the initialization is complete, basically just setting that boolean value to true. And then we have when the students have all completed their registrations. Basically, it's just a while loop that is going to continuously loop until the registration is completed. And this is basically done through the 3 other feature files, which will be run in parallel through parallel. So basically, all these will be run at the same time. So if we take a look, for example, at example 1 student 2 registering, this is given the setup is initialization is complete. And if we take a look at the step definition, this is basically, once again, an infinite loop while the initialization is not completed. Here it is, and the setup is complete. So it's going to keep looping and sleeping the thread, making the thread sleep until the initialization is complete. So that will basically prevent the student from performing any registration until all of these setup steps have been completed. Once that is done, then the student will select and register for that course. Um, and this is the part that it does that. So basically, we initialize a new input handler, and we initialize the student number for that input handler, and we just perform the specific commands that are required to register a student, which is logging in with the credentials, selecting the course, and then registering for the course. And every single one of these feature files will run this at the same time. They're going to be run in parallel, so we don't know which one is going to be running first. Therefore, it'll exhibit non-deterministic behavior. And once they register, then the registration attempt increases by 1. And that is what I mean by it's going to relate to here. So if we take a look at registration attempt increases by 1, we have the number of attempts increases by 1. The moment we have it reaches 3, that means all 3 of them have registered. Then we set that flag to true, and therefore it will no longer loop on this step, and it will check that 2 students are enrolled in this course. And that is always the case because we have a cap size of 2 and 3 people are trying to register. And since we already have one student registering, then one of these 3 other students will register before causing only 2 to be in the course in the end. And that is basically an assert checking that there is 2 students in the course. You get it from the university instance, get course, get students enrolled. Okay. The expected behavior is just as explained in part 2 example 1. We're going to have 2 students in the course in the end, and only one of the 3 people attempting to register will successfully register. So without further ado, let us run the tests. So this was in desktop. Demo cd part 3 example 1. Okay, so we just need to make sure that we're in the same directory as where the pom.xml file is located. And then so run number 1, run number 2, run number 3, run number 4, run number 5. Okay, and open up the log file and just make sure it's empty. Okay, so we don't really need these anymore because we're going to be running it through Maven. So the steps are first to Maven clean, success, Maven generate test sources, and then Maven verify. So basically here what happened is it created a runnable class for each of our feature files. So we'll create 4 runnable classes, and then when we do Maven verify, basically just going to run all 4 of them at the same time. And we're going to do Maven verify 5 times to show 5 different runs, and then we'll look at the log file each time that is done. So this is run number 1. We have all of them passing. Okay. Yep. So we have all 4 of them passing. And then if we take a look at the log file, we can see that student 3 was not able to register, student 4 was not able to register because the course is full, and student 2 was able to register successfully. So we have student 1 and student 2 in the course. So that is run number 1. We have student 1 and student 2 registering successfully. So if we delete this and then run Maven verify again, this is run number 2. So that is done. Now if you take a look at the logs, Here we have student 1 and student 3 in the course this time. Yeah, student 4 could not register because the course is full, and student 2 could not register because the course is full. Student 1 and however, student 3 was able to register. So here it is, student 3 registered for the course successfully. So in the end, student 1 and student 3 are in the course. That will be run number 3 right now. Oh, and I did not delete this. Okay. Okay. Hopefully that was in time. I think because I deleted the log file before it did that, now it's halted for a bit. So we can just terminate it. Or no, it's doing it. Nice. Okay. Nice. Okay. Take a look at this one. Once again, student 1 and student 3 are in the course in the end. That's the same as run number 2. If we run it for run number 4, hopefully we can get that last possibility where we have student 1 registering and student 4 registering. But as we can see so far that it's not always the same output, meaning it's non-deterministic. We don't know which one is going to be, which student is going to be the student that registers. Okay, let's see this one. Yes, and here we have the last possible outcome, which was student 1 registering, followed by student 4 registering. Here, and running it for the 5th time. I did not delete the logs, but it's fine. You can just go to the very end. And finally, for our last run, we have student 1 registering and student 2 registering. Student 4 failing because the course is full. And I don't know where the other one went. But in the end, we have student 1 and student 2 registering. So we have covered all possible outcomes in the 5 runs. Sorry, student 1 registering with student 2, student 1 and student 3, and student 1 and student 4. And these tests will always run because all we're checking is that at the end there's only 2 people in the course. We don't know which 2 because it's complete. It can be either student 2. We know that student 1 is always in the course, but we don't know which of these 3 students are. Which of student 2, 3, or 4 will register because they're registering at the same time. We don't know which one is going to perform the registration commands first, so it's completely non-deterministic. And that is all for this video. Thank you.